that's really difficult to talk about, and it has to deal with a judge that orders many migrant children removed from a Texas facility that is said to have used psychotropic drugs on them. Daniel, what's going on with that?
Yeah, just to kind of build on everything else we're talking about, kind of connecting to the B of A story, this was a judge that said, hey, it's illegal to give children that are very young psychotropic drugs. So a judge said, yeah, that's illegal. You can't do that. Stop it. Guys?
Yeah. Well, first, I'm disgusted by this story. Here's the thing. The United States, I guess in theory, like, we say that we're this proud bastion of liberty and freedom and human rights, but the very fact that this country has been treating like these children like this, I want everyone to remember that somewhere down the road, this country is going to need help. Its people's going to need help. I don't know. Maybe we might have a disaster to where we might need aid.
Well, we're not an empire anymore. We aren't strong.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of countries may not be keen or open to the idea of helping us out. And not to mention, let's look at the people that will be recovering from this when they turn to adulthood. Are they going to have the same kind of warm feelings and open arm, mentality towards the United States?
Is how you
probably not. This is how you make a lot of enemies, and this is how karma comes back at us. Now, look, there is a chance for us to stop this, and that is getting involved. Again, politically, we talk about this all the time. If you don't get involved, stuff like this is going to keep on happening, and this should upset anyone. Look, I'm not a parent, but I'm pretty sure people who are listening to the show are parents or know, or like our uncle or nephew, or an aunt or something, or you're part of a community center and you're helping out, kids or something like that. This should upset you. This should make you angry. But the very fact that there's still silence in this country, that there aren't massive protests, really kind of has me worried.
Yeah, and again, it goes to, you have Fox, obviously, like Paul said, is demonizing these kids every single day, so everyone thinks that they're just demons walking in. They should have anything that comes their way.
CNN and NBC are going to be probably neutral.
The ICE says one thing, these migrant representatives say another. Who are we to decide? We're not news. We're just propaganda. So
yeah.
The problem is that in a lot of ways, these kids just aren't important to national interests because, let's look at it from a rules to rulers perspective. They can't vote. They're not citizens. So if you're an elected official, if you're just looking at those type of numbers, they don't matter.
Yeah.
If they're useful now, just like prisoners are, as a income source. You have private prisons that are making a huge amount of money incarcerating these kids. You have all the people that are doing construction in these areas, which are really happy to have those jobs come their way, that are doing that. You have the administration itself, which has been pushing with what Fox News essentially and all these other organizations on the right have been building up over decades, this resentment that has been building and this breakout that happened after Obama. And then at the same time, you have the Democrats completely collapsing and not knowing what to do about anything because they don't know how to act. And now they're fighting internally against progressives that are trying to take over their own party because that's much more important from their perspective than helping these kids. So when you get the Democrats, all you get is, I'm with the resistance, but you get nothing with it. And then it's
lackluster.
And then you have them say, well, we can't do anything because we're not in power, which makes it less likely for people to reelect them because they don't get how to govern it anymore because they're too busy making their own money. And what is the result going to be? 20 years from now, we're going to look back at this and go, wow, why didn't we see this? It was so obvious. We were doing another version
and we had the power to stop it, too.
Well, of course we had the power to stop it. It's our country. But it's that, just like we look at the Japanese internment camp, just like we look at the Chinese Exclusion Act, just like we looked at all these other things in history, a generation from now, everyone's going to say, wow, what idiots were you that you let this happen? And they're going to be right.
Yeah.
You're watching Hard Lens Media.